Hello, so today in demonstration skills video 2, we are going to be demonstrating applying a sling and applying a rigid splint. So the first thing I'm going to do is apply a sling. Unfortunately, I live alone, so I don't have anyone to apply the sling on. I have no teddy bears or anything of that nature. So I'm kind of just gonna simulate doing it on myself. As best as I can. So basically, say that this here, my arm, is injured and it needs to be put in a sling. If I'm walking up to an individual who has an injured arm and I need to help them apply a sling, I'm first going to ask them, is it okay if I'm able to do that? So I'm going to obtain consent from them. If they say yes, like, you can help me out, the first thing you're going to do is, a sling is almost like a sleeve. So you're going to gently, you would slide the sling all the way up to about here. Without moving the arm too much, without lifting it, the whole purpose of a sling is to keep the injured part of or the injured body part or the injured area from being further injured or anything else happening to it. So a sling helps keep the arm in place for further movement, so you don't have any more injury that can possibly happen from that. So it is like a sleeve. You just kind of slide it in without moving the arm, and then there is a strap usually that comes down over this part. So a sling comes up this way, and then it usually has like a strap at the end, and it kind of straps this way, so it locks in that person's arm. So kind of like they're holding it like this, but instead of physically holding it like this, there's something where they can drop the weight of it inside of the sling. So that is how I would demonstrate, or how I would apply a sling if someone had an injured arm and I needed to do that. Now, as far as applying a rigid splint, same situation. We are going to obtain consent, and then we're going to do kind of the same thing with the sling. You're going to support the area of the body that is injured. So say that it's my hand. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the color of it. I'm going to make sure that there's no discoloration. I'm going to feel it. I'm going to see whether or not it's warm to the touch before I even apply the splint. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place an appropriately sized. So my hand's pretty small, and I do have like this kind of wrap to do a little bit of a simulation. But you want to get an appropriately sized splint for the area that you're going to be applying it to. So obviously one for your hand is going to be a little bit smaller than one for your leg, one for your shoulder, one for your arm, or a different body part that you need to be applying it for. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to apply it under the injured part. So if my hand is injured, I'm going to do it like this. So I would apply it up underneath here. And then the second thing I'm going to do is the padding of it. You're going to place it in the palm of my hand so I can keep it in the natural position of as it is. So since this is my hand that's injured, I'm going to place the padded region of the splint in the palm of my hand, but I still have the splint up underneath, almost kind of like I'm going to wrap it up here without moving it as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie the folded bandages above and below. So if my hand is injured, obviously I would be doing this on someone else's hand, so I wouldn't be holding it. But say that I've broken something in my fingers, or my whole hand is broken. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure in the beginning, so you have to hold the person's hand in a still position as not to move it, because that's the whole point of using these tools in an injury, is not to move it. So I'm gonna hold it up underneath. I'm gonna put the padded part in the palm of my hand here, and then I'm gonna tie the bandages above and below the injured part. So if it was my fingers here that were injured, or if it's the whole hand, I will put something here, and then you tie it. So this is below, and this is going to be above the injured part of it. And then once I do that, I would be rechecking for warmth, feeling, and color of it to make sure that no further infection or anything like that is happening. So that is going to be the end of the video for today. Thank you.